Welcome, y'all. What's good? How's it going? I'm just bringing the mic a little closer to my face so y'all can hear me. Because this is stupid. Update. This is fucking stupid. Um, I, when I tell you I tried, I genuinely tried. I tried to watch Screw give like this 3 hour long video. I tried. Um, I'm a half an hour into it right now, and I'm genuinely like, I can't finish this. I can't. It's genuinely, it's getting on my nerves. It's ticking me off a little bit, actually. Um, it's not even like a bias thing to where I just like Shizzy more because I like Screw too. I like his reactions too. I've been following both of them for a very long time. I'm just at the point to where, bro, you spent 3 hours recording an entire response after you put out a response where you didn't watch his full video. And it's like the points that he made some valid points. Like with Shizzy getting his video removed. Like he was talking crazy in that video. And you know how YouTube's AI is with the community guidelines. If they catch you talking crazy, they're going to shut down. They're going to remove the video for community guidelines violation. It doesn't even have to be because of a flag or a report. It'll just be the AI picked up hateful language or, threats, active threats of violence, stuff like that. They don't play around with that. They'll cut your shit off immediately. So I get where he was saying with that. And, from the perspective of him being like, yeah, these people were making diss tracks about me and my son and my wife, it's like, I get it. Nobody likes being in that position. But the part that kept getting me was that, yes, he kept bringing up his son and his wife, but he was like, you should have been standing up for me when they were talking about my son. You didn't stand up for me. You didn't help me out when they was talking about my son. And you was cool with these niggas who were talking about my son. And I'm like, brother, stop using this fucking child as a scapegoat to deflect from the fact that you were the reason why these niggas were writing the diss track about you and your son. You caused it. You did it. They wouldn't have even said anything if you had just kept your ass out of the community, if you had just not reacted to the video. None of this would have ever happened. And I'm not minimizing because people on the internet are weird. There is no honor on the internet. None. They will come after your family, your children, your granny, your fucking deceased auntie, your sister-in-law who's dying of cancer. They don't care because they're all fucking, most of them are fucking troglodytes. And they'll always go for the lowest blow to see if they can get the biggest reaction. And sometimes they'll even resort to racism, which is what happened, I think, I don't know, in this case. But like, dude, it still doesn't excuse the fact that there is physical proof on the internet right now that you decided willingly to react to a cipher, a very popular one on YouTube that already has a massive following behind it. Just because it's not on your radar doesn't mean that it already wasn't big to begin with. You made the conscious decision to react to that cipher and skip all of the niggas that you don't fuck with. Now, I don't know if he said, it would be one thing if these people that he skipped in the cipher had already like put out these diss tracks about his son or whatever, but he's made no mention of that at all. That would have been the clarifying key factor here, is that if those people that he skipped on the cipher were people that put out diss tracks on him and his family before he reacted to the video, then I would understand the outrage. but it seems very much like a cause and effect situation. So and he's not making any moves to try and prove that it wasn't a cause and effect. So he's just making himself look crazy, and he's still shooting at Shizzy like, bro, you're lying about this. You lying about you said you were my boy. Like, but you let these niggas talk about my son, and he keeps bringing up my son this, my son that, and like he's like downplay because Shizzy was like, yeah, we were friends, but we weren't friends like that. Which it's to somebody who really doesn't. It does look kind of crazy from an outsider looking in because when it comes to friends, you're either a friend or you're not, unless you're somebody who doesn't really value internet friendships as much as IRL friendships. And he was like, it was like an over the internet friendship that later evolved into a real life friendship, and to the point to where he's like, yeah, I held your son because the relationship had grown from that. But he's saying during this time period we were not IRL friends. We were not let me you were not we were not at the I feel comfortable letting you hold my son in your hands point of the friendship yet, is what Shizzy was saying. And Screw is like, you're lying. We were cool all the way back then. Like we were tight all the way back then in 2021. And Shizzy's like, no, the fuck we weren't. No, we weren't. Which I get it, because it takes time for a friendship to grow like that, and you have to interact with somebody multiple times before they even feel close to comfortable enough letting you hold their child. And I've seen plenty of internet relationships branch into real life, and Shizzy even calls Screw his brother many times. He said, you were my brother. I considered you my brother many times. Many times. But Screw is so hung up on details that aren't important, and he's trying to use those unimportant details to spin this into oh, you stood by and let people talk about my child. But he's not explaining what he did to have these niggas start talking crazy about him and his child, which is the detail that Shizzy was reiterating over and over again. I guess they did. I don't know. That according to Screw they did, but that's what Screw said. If they were dissing his kid, that's like, you know what, that's fine. Like you run the fade. But like I said, internet niggas are grimy. They don't care about your family. There's no honor in the internet streets, and people will try to argue that there is. They're lying. No, there isn't. These niggas don't give a fuck. Why do you think people like Aiden Ross and Adam22 and fucking Andrew Tate exist on the internet, and Sneeko? Why do you think bitches like them exist? It's because there's no honor on the internet. It's not like the streets, where if you talk about my wife, you talk about my child, it's up. Or if you come after my wife, you come after my child, it's up. It's not the same as in the streets. On the internet, these niggas will talk about everybody. What they don't care. They don't care about niggas' feelings. They don't care about honor. They don't care about respect, because they're filthy. Because they were raised on this platform that exposes them to everything that's negative about life. So they don't follow the same rules as they would in the streets. I'm not saying that what they did was correct, because no, you leave the kids alone. Okay? There's a fucking code when it comes to anything. It's that if you have a beef with somebody, you beef it with them personally. Anybody else that's not involved, fuck them. It's not about them. Don't drag people into the beef that don't deserve it. But, people, and also it was a different time back then. It's back when a lot of people were saying some really creepy shit on Twitter. Back when, people were posting literal death video, like snuff films on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, and that shit would circulate for weeks before it was finally taken down. 2021 was a different time, and it was during quarantine too. It just, I don't know, it was a weird time. It wasn't nearly as bad as it was way back in, like, I want to say 2012s, 2013s. It wasn't that bad. That's scorched earth. You just had to be there. The Jesus, pre 2016, pre COVID internet was wild as fuck. Um, but the tactics that the thing that Screw I've heard Screw mention his son at least 50 times in the first half an hour of this video. And he was getting like angry to the point where he was like about to call him out of his name. He was about to start popping off. This nigga just looks like a ticking time bomb. He's not watching the video to gain insight. He's watching the video to to cherry pick points to rebuttal. And even then he's not doing a good job because it still makes him look crazy. And it's like I watched I looked through some of the comments on I think Shizzy's reaction, and a lot of people were like, I'm not really I don't really feel a type of way about Screw. It just looks like they both have different ideas on what they believe friendship is. And it's not communicating well to the other, and they're just blowing things out of proportion as a result. But when I watched the 3 hour video of Shizzy and I'm sitting there listening to him talk about how, he's going through his grandmother passing from cancer and everything, and him how Munfu was escalating the situation for literally no reason. Sorry, Screw even confirms that Munfu was in fact exacerbating the situation, and he even showed the tweet that Munfu posted, basically calling Shizzy a fake friend and a hoe ass nigga, and was like, basically, I can't even remember what the fucking thing said, but it was talking crazy on Twitter. And what Screw failed to mention was that in Shizzy's video, he brought up receipts showing that Screwface reposted what Munfu said. So typically, let's go through internet culture here. Typically, if you see something on the internet, whether it be a tweet or a video or a picture, and you retweet it or you repost it, typically that means that you not only agree with the content that's displayed, or you have something to say about it. That also, he didn't say anything, he just reposted it. If you repost it without saying anything, typically that means you want this in your timeline for some reason or another, because either you're in on it, either you have some thoughts on it, either you just wanted to save it. But if there is a save option, though, on Twitter where you can save tweets without reposting it to your fan base, why would you repost the tweet to your fan base if you didn't have any problems with him? Why didn't you, I don't know, repost it with a message that's like, yo, Munfu, it's no need to get that crazy, dog. It's really not that serious. We can talk it out. We can squash it and hash it out. No, you reposted it and didn't say anything. So I don't understand. But I genuinely, like, the way he was deflecting and the way he was trying to basically paint Shizzy as like this lying manipulator, because he's like, oh, because you've always been like this. You always get into beefs and you always get into situations, and then you'll flip flop and act like you had nothing to do with it, or you'll start some shit and then act like you don't know what's going on. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know their life. They're friends. Clearly, they just need to honestly, to the both of y'all need to just call each other and squash this. Like, cause you keep bringing it to the internet, and I know y'all Screw could have easily just like reached out, even through YouTube or something. He could have put out a post, but he's like, go live. Don't go live. You don't want everybody here. Why do you want everybody there on a situation that you could just squash in private? Why would you not want to squash the beef in private? Is it so that everybody can like see all your dirty laundry or whatever? So like you figure, oh, we're already here, may as well expose it to the world. Like it's already made public, may as well bring them in on it. Genuinely, like y'all just need to talk this through and just squash it. Because Shizzy's already like it's you're just gonna have to accept that these niggas in the nerdcore community don't like you, Screw. They don't. They're not gonna fuck with you. And that's fine. Because you disrespected their community to their face. And barely reacted with so much as a shrug when it was brought to your attention. That's not okay, bro. You don't just get to enter a space, utterly disgrace it and disrespect it, and then act surprised when people have a problem with it, and then get mad at the nigga that told you not to do it because he won't jump in and defend you? Because you were getting... And I think the part he keeps getting hung up on was the fact that they dissed him and his child. And it's like, if he got his child dissed, whatever. Like, as a Shizzy is, he's the type of nigga that he doesn't want to get involved in dumb shit. He's like, I told you not to do it. I told you that was a bad idea. I'm out of it. I've washed my hands of it. Pontius Pilate. It no longer concerns me because I told you not to do it. And you said, all right, I won't do it. So you lied. You lied. You said you weren't going to do it, went and did it anyway, and then told him that you did it after the video was already uploaded. And you have the text messages to prove it. Screw. So you just talked yourself into a hole. You fucking lied when you said you weren't gonna react to the video. Because according to the messages that you put up, no, it was according to the messages that you put up, you didn't tell Shizzy that you recorded the video until it was on YouTube. Shizzy was under the impression that you weren't gonna do the video. And you didn't tell him you were doing the video until after it was already posted. That's why Shizzy reacted with, uh-oh, they're going to come after you. Because you did not tell him the truth. You did not tell him, hey, I'm gonna react to it regardless of what you said, and then record it. No, you recorded it, uploaded it, put in a description, and posted it to YouTube. And then you told Shizzy that you did it. That's lying, Screw. I don't know if y'all understand that, but if you say that you're not gonna do something, and then you turn around and do it anyway, and then you tell the person who told you not to do it that you did it after it's already been done, am I crazy? Am I just high? Clearly it's me. Clearly I'm just reading into this too deeply. I'm just not reading this correctly. But like, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Is that lying? I'm pretty sure that's being dishonest. So it was you lying about putting the fucking video out, disrespecting this culture, that got you in this in the first place. Because I know that if Shizzy was made aware that you were about to do this goofy ass shit, he would have done everything in his power to make sure that you didn't do it. Because he knew the backlash that you were gonna get. That's why he told you not to do it. You fucking idiot. If somebody tells you not to walk in traffic and you go and do it anyway, and then you send your friend the hospital bill, like, I walked in traffic even though you told me not to, and they don't pay your hospital bill, why would your first reaction be to get mad at your friend for not paying your fucking hospital bill? You moron. You literally walked into a Crip neighborhood and threw up blood signs got mad because you got shot up and looked at your homie crazy because he didn't go and get shot with you? Are we actually for real? Like, am I just high, y'all? Am I just high and am I reading this wrong? I swear, like, please tell me if I'm reading this incorrectly. Be honest with me, y'all. Am I reading this wrong? Because I'm genuinely, like, baffled as to why this is such a hard fucking concept to grasp. Like, you were told not to do it. You went on video, skipped all these niggas, pissed them off, pissed off the community, drew their ire. They put out diss tracks against you, which is fine because they followed the code. They kept it on wax. Because if they didn't, they could have showed up at your spot, Scru. I don't think if you know this, but a lot of internet niggas are fucking crazy. And they will find your IP address and literally show up to your house for disrespecting them and disrespecting their culture. Be glad that a fucking diss track aimed at you and your baby boy were the only things that happened. Because niggas on the internet, especially in the nerdcore community, where they are aura farming 24/7 and they genuinely believe themselves to be the main character, they will show up at your crib. Unannounced. And I know that if somebody like fucking Knox Hill or Fantano reacted to something that's, rooted in your culture, like a cipher done by a lot of Nigerians, or like a Nigerian or a black only or a mixed cipher, and skipped only the black people or skipped only the Nigerian people, you would be ready to fight. You would be like, nah, this nigga needs to go. That is exactly what the nerdcore community did. You disrespected a number of their artists in their community. You came in their house unannounced, took a shit on their floor, looked them dead in the eyes while you did it. You got your ass beat, thrown out of the house. And you're looking at Shizzy crazy because he told you not to go in and do that dumb shit. He's standing outside like, bro, don't do it. And then when he turns his back, you decide to go inside anyway. And now you're upset because you're catching consequences. And he didn't go inside with you and do the dumb shit that... What is there to support? What the fuck would he even say? And Shizzy even said that in his video, the part that Scru seemed to have conveniently skipped. If you bothered to watch the 3 hours, 25 minutes, and 55 seconds, there is a part specifically where he's like, what the fuck would I even say? I stand by Scru even though he hopped on the cipher and did that stupid shit that I told him not to do. Why is this even an argument? Why is this a thing that needs to be discussed? You were told not to do it, but you did it anyways, and the proof is literally the video that's on YouTube where you skip a bunch of fucking rappers. It's there. It's right there on YouTube. You skipping a number of rappers because you don't like them. Nobody told you to do it. Nobody told you. And he tried to argue that Shizzy was like pestering him to do it too, which was another thing that was kind of rubbing me the wrong way. Cause like, and you know why that proves Shizzy's statement wrong is because when Shiz messaged him and said, oh shit, you're catching hella flack for what you did, to the nerdcore community. You want to know what Scru's response was? It wasn't, ah, shit, I knew this dumb shit would happen, or, oh, why did you do this? Why didn't you tell me that this was going to happen? His response was, okay, and those are your friends. I don't give a fuck about them. I don't give a fuck about those people. Those are your weird ass friends. That's exactly what he said. So if you were being pestered into it, why would your first reaction to controversy stemming from the thing that you were supposedly pestered to do be apathetic indifference? Wouldn't it be anger, frustration towards Shizzy for pestering you to react to that video? Wouldn't it be like, damn it, I knew I shouldn't have reacted to that fucking shit. Why did you talk me into this shit? And there was none of that. There was only indifference, apathy. Like, he literally sent the fucking Wiz Khalifa meme where it's like, whatever, okay. That was his first response to finding out that he just pissed off an entire YouTube community. Think about that, y'all. It's not the things that he's saying out loud that's bothering me. It's the things that he's not saying that's bothering me. And I can't co-sign to that. And it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna unsubscribe. But bro is really just like lost right now, and he needs a refresher on how friendship works. Because literally the video Shizzy was reacting to, I watched that whole we watched it on live, and then I went and watched the rest of it. And it was literally just Screw harping on and on and on about, I was this to you, I was good to you, I did this for you, I did this for you, I did this for you. It literally just naming a bunch of shit that he's done for him. And he was like, you couldn't do this one thing for me, this one tweet. You couldn't just go on Twitter and tweet this one thing after all this shit I've done for you. And that is the part that triggered me. That part right there. And it's very important because growing up in a household where things, especially good things, were often weaponized against me and held over my head and used as leverage to get me to be obedient, to not speak out, to not rebel, to just, just keep my mouth shut and that's it. Like submission. They tried to bully me into submission by holding the things that they did for me over my head. And it's just that hearing that same kind of dialogue being spoken unironically really irks something deep within my soul. As somebody who has had good things held over their head constantly, it really, like, this boiling anger deep within me was like, I can't watch the rest of the video. I'm genuinely at the point where I'm just like, I hate it. I hate it. I don't use the word hate very often unless I feel very, very strongly about something, to the point where it's like, it's repulsive to listen to. Y'all, genuine, and it's not saying that Screw is like a bad person. I'm just saying that his response and the way that he's going about this is genuinely repulsive to me, as somebody who has been in this exact same situation. And he's still not taking accountability for the fact that he's the one who started it. He's the one who reacted to the video, skipped all of the rappers that he didn't like, and put it out on YouTube. Even though he was advised strongly not to do so. And he told him he wasn't gonna do it. And Shizzy he thought that was the end of it. Because he was like, alright, refresh your seat. Are you serious? You're lying. That quick? There's no way he responded that fast. You're actually trolling. What? Where did he respond? On his music channel or his? He must have posted it on his fucking music page. Hold on. His main channel. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, Shizzy, you're a demon, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? I just uploaded my reaction to your reaction to Scru's reaction. What the fuck is going on? 15 minutes ago. All right, we gotta watch it. We gotta watch it. I'm befuddled, y'all. I'm genuinely like, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Over here blasting my own Discord. Oh yeah, let me put that in the server, by the way. Nice. That's the Discord. Y'all want to join? You get real-time alerts as to when I'm going live. You can have discussions with me about the stuff that we watched. Literally, I was talking in the Discord to Get Chill, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going live because I got to talk about it. So, I'm sorry, Marvin. I don't mean to cut you off. Rest in power, King. But we gotta react to Shizzy, because there's no way. 15 minutes ago, y'all.
Testing.
I can't make this shit up.
So, boom. Because I can see that Scru made a reaction, and I ain't watch it. I clicked the random spot, saw my hairline, said, ah, damn!
He did have his hairline up there for an uncomfortable amount of time. Bro really had his hairline was cooked.
Read the description, and you said that people are coming for your family and all that shit, or they were coming from your family and all the rest of the shit, and I knew what was up. Your video's 3 hours long. I'm over the whole situation. The shit is whack. Niggas ain't gonna be friends again, so let me just write whatever would be considered my wrongs to everybody, right? While also...
I come in peace. Hi, Miss Hummus.
So,
I just went on a whole tirade. I'm not bashing Scru. I'm just mad because this is stupid. And the language that was being used in the Scru video and the manipulation tactics were genuinely triggering because it was bringing, like, it was verbatim some of the stuff that I used to hear when I was a kid. And it was just not, it was rubbing me the wrong way. And I'm like, at this point, y'all just need to, like, talk and hash this shit out because this is fucking ridiculous. And then I was informed by my chat that he literally posted a response in the middle of my rant, in the middle of my tirade. So we're getting into it.
That FaceTime, that last FaceTime that we were on, weird. Told y'all my hairline was horrible though. I told y'all niggas that's gonna see that shit that my hairline was horrible. Yeesh.
The screenshotting the live. That's what got you in trouble the first time, Scru. That's what got you in trouble with Nox. And the, what's the Filipino rapper's name? Not G-Eazy. It was, oh my god, was his name? It was Easy something. And he was a Filipino rapper. A Filipino battle rapper. Oh no, I think he was just a rapper that Scru was trying to get a feature from. Easy Mill. That's who it was, Noah. Thank you so much. It was Easy Mill. And him and Scru were really close. And they would FaceTime, and Scru would basically he was recording the FaceTimes and screenshotting the FaceTimes and like using it as evidence to, I can't even remember what the fuck happened, but Knox called him out for it in one of his diss tracks. So this is the second time that you have been caught screenshotting or recording FaceTimes, my nigga. Stop. Stop it. Yeah, cause I know Easy Mill he came up on a track that I remember that came out back then. Oh my god, it wasn't Kendrick's joint. I think he was rapping. I remember him rapping on like with Future or something. It was either Future or K Dot. It was one of them. Um, but yeah, him and Screw were really cool, and they would FaceTime a lot. And that was the one where I was talking about. Screw pulled up to his crib, unannounced. And it was kind of weird, but like, and it got to the point where Easy Mill's agent had to tell him to never contact him again. That's how bad it got. And it was getting to the point where I think Screw's career was about to take a huge hit. And I think No Life Shaq had to step in the middle of it, or he was getting dragged in the middle of it. And, he was trying to be peacekeeper on both sides. That didn't really work out too well, but he never really lost a whole lot of subs from it. And the beef essentially was deaded. The whole beef was deaded. Because it wasn't, yes, stalker. That's what it was. He was talking about Easy Mill and Screw. So this is the second time that screenshotting anything in FaceTime has been brought up, to my knowledge. So that's a pattern. That's why. And when it comes to things that I see visually that happen, I go by the rule of 3. Once is coincidence, twice is a pattern, thrice is confirmation. I think we can all agree that if the same thing happens 3 times, that's confirmation that, okay, this is a pattern. But that's my rule of 3, and I always use that when judging a situation. Like, if it's the first time that I've seen it, I don't judge it unless I see a pattern of previous behavior. And right now, I am seeing the pattern. And I heard that he was beefing with other rappers too, because of maybe similar reasons. I'm not sure. But I know if I go and research it, I'm seeing a pattern, and I'm not too comfortable with. But we're going to continue.
I cut my shit, you feel what I'm saying? And I wear my whatever's. That's why I'm wearing some shit now. I need a haircut.
I'm being nosy. Mom's cooking something good downstairs.
Federal because Shofu accidentally hit record when your boy was secretly recording the bullshit that he did to me is weird. 2 cases of y'all sneakily doing shit. Why are you screenshotting FaceTimes without a person knowing? And
right?
Why is your boy secretly recording himself coming to my crib at 9 in the morning while I'm in my boxers to commit a crime and violate me over petty internet bullshit with the Pokemon niggas? Weird. Now, I saw what you said on Twitter about not knowing that my grandma was dying. That's cap. Both of y'all knew
And somebody in the comments section on Screw's video even called him out for that. And Screw, he of course kept defending himself. So he was called out for that discrepancy.
The screenshots with a white background shows what I said to Fudge after he came and did the bullshit he did, and I said I wanted to get back to fixing my mental health and mourning my grandmother because she was in the process of dying from cancer, and that nigga said whatever he said and said sorry about your grandmother. This was way before that final FaceTime that we had. You niggas knew. All this shit is whack. Let's stop acting like y'all niggas didn't do what y'all did and said what y'all said. Y'all niggas threatened me. I offered y'all the fade. Y'all niggas declined it. And after the convo, that was it until...
Oh yeah, Screw also vehemently denied ducking the fade. He never clarified it in any way, shape, or form. He just said that he's lied. He just said that I didn't duck the fade. So it's like, even then, it still makes you look crazy, because it's like, if you were never offered the fade, did you run the fade? He offered you the fade. He said it on the call that you recorded. He said, "Run me my fade." So, are you gonna run the fade or not? It's very simple. It's like if y'all wanna, if you guys have to fight, the only possible resolution for this is to fight, like fisticuffs, one on one, mano y mano, and you don't do it, then like what's stopping you? Clearly not him. He offered it. He was the one who was like, "Run me my fade." So what's stopping you from going there and just being like, "Bro, let's just squabble up real quick and hash this out"? Like, what is stopping you? All you have to do is make a YouTube video speaking directly to Shiz, saying, "Bro, I know you're out there. Unblock me. I accept your challenge. Let's run the fade." I mean, hell, if he wanted to make it a public thing, he'd be like, "Shit, we could run the fade, fucking do it live." Like, you can't get away with violence and shit, but he's like, whatever, make it a boxing match or some shit. That's how you could get it publicized. Internet people do that all the time. YouTubers organize boxing matches all the time to squash a beef. That's how men did it, because men are very primal creatures. If they have a problem with somebody, they're gonna be like, "Bro, fight me." But it's the fact that you're like, "I never denied the fade," but then you never go and explain why you didn't. Whatever. I'm not high enough or sober enough to process this. This is dumb. Y'all need to just fight. Just fight it out already.
Because letting y'all niggas get away with how y'all violated me and then didn't respect the friendship when I offered y'all the fade and squashing it, that shit constantly rubbed me the wrong way. And it bothered me for months, my nigga, because I let this nigga get away with some shit that niggas do not get away with me. Point blank, period. And y'all are gonna try to deny it.
So it's funny how people are not really looking at what Scru did. Everybody can't be kumbaya. That's what's wrong with us right now. We keep letting people slide. You have to hold people accountable. Yeah. I get it. But if you were wrong, you were wrong. That's literally what this whole situation is about. Scru was wrong, and he doesn't want to admit it. He didn't like being told that he was wrong. Shizzy was like, "Bro, you fucked up. Why did you do that? You're wrong." And he's like, "Why won't you defend me on Twitter?" And he's like, "Because you're in the wrong." It's like, why would you want me to go on Twitter and defend you when you were the one who instigated it? You were the one who went out of your way to be disrespectful, and you were catching the consequences of your own actions. Why would I, in good faith, have anything positive to say about what you did in that situation? Why would I blindly stand by you even though you just disrespected an entire community that I'm a part of? Even though I told you not to. Like, what sense does that make? It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. You would have to be a blind follower to do some shit like that. You would have to be Drake Stan levels of incoherent to do some shit like that. To watch your friend pimp slap a random stranger on the street and then just be expected to jump in and fight this nigga with them? No. If he storms in somebody's house and robs their shit and the police come and they ask you, "Were you a part of it?" Your first instinct is gonna be no, because I didn't go in the fucking house, because I told him not to go in the fucking house. It's not snitching because you didn't do it. You're telling the truth. So if this nigga gets arrested, you can't get mad at the homie for not taking the fall with you. Especially when you were told not to do it. Like at that point, if you're like, all right, whatever, no, it's fine, I'm not gonna do it, and I'm like, cool, and I start walking home, and you, in your utter genius, decide to turn around while I'm not looking, go in this house, rob this fucking family, and then come back and tell me, hey, bro, I just robbed these people, even though you told me not to, and now the police are coming. You gotta take the fall with me. Huh? Nigga, if you don't get the way I would be like, no, where's the Uber? I'm going home. You fucking idiot. Why would you do that? That was literally what happened. Like, am I wrong for thinking like this? I can understand being loyal. There's a difference between being loyal to somebody and being stupid. I am not going to blindly follow my friend when they piss off an entire community of people unprovoked. When they weren't slighted in any way, shape, or form. I'm not gonna just blindly follow my friend because they enter a community that they're reacting to and disrespect every single last one of them to their faces. And then look at me like I'm supposed to just jump in and defend you when I told you not to do it. That is literally what Shizzy is saying right now. I told you not to do it, and you did it anyway. I'm not going to defend your behavior when it's wrong. Because you're not supposed to reward bad behavior. As a parent, as a friend, as anything, as a partner, you do not reward bad behavior with loyalty because it's just gonna prompt them to keep doing that bad behavior. That's why Drake keeps doing the shit that he does, is because he has this echo chamber of yes men who are on his nuts 25/7, and they'll never tell him when he's wrong. That's why when he gets called out for being wrong, he throws an absolute tantrum because he's not used to being checked. Screw, just take your L. It's fine. He said, run me my fame. All he said was, y'all blew this out of proportion. You basically got me blacklisted off of YouTube. And now you're mad at me and you're calling me fake? And he failed to mention the part where Shizzy explains how when he finally did put out a tweet, or when people finally found out that he was Scru's friend, that 90% of the nerdcore community turned their backs on him. He got banished from the nerdcore community because of simply being associated with you, Scru. So he was 100% isolated at that point. Y'all didn't fuck with him anymore. The nerdcore community didn't fuck with him anymore. Hell, even the girl he was dating at the time didn't fuck with him anymore. Do you know what that does to a person's mental? When everybody's mad at you all at the same time, but for different reasons, so much so that they completely throw you out, and they don't even look back at the wreckage that they just caused. Do you know how that feels? But no, Scru conveniently left that part out. Because if he did watch the video, he would have seen that Shizzy was like, I got ostracized by everybody. And they talk grimy on my name. They talk crazy. He said it was horrific the way they dragged him on Twitter because of being associated with Scru. Can I join you for a quick yeah. Hold on. I don't know how we can collaborate. Will we have to go to yours? How do I even do this? Oh, is it through? So I want to know how I can do this, because if I can collab with people that aren't on this app already, that would be interesting. Outside of Streamlabs, can I? Twitch stream together. I think it says the only way we could is through. Is it through Zoom, maybe? Because I don't have StreamYard. Rikensuke, welcome. I do feel for Shizzy heavily because he technically got isolated and exiled from everyone he cared about. He didn't even start. Or you can add the streaming service URL you're using. I don't know. Does it work like that? Would you guys even be able to like join my thing if I did that? Hold on. I'm gonna see if it works. Start collab. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna generate a link. Copy. And where's the chat at? There we go. Folks move nasty. I'm not even like bashing Screw for anything. I'm angry at his actions. I'm not angry at him as a person. I'm like, I can acknowledge that, he is he's a good husband, a good father. He's a great reactor. When he knows his shit, he knows his shit. I'm just the way that this situation is being handled, honestly, is dumb. It's dumb. If y'all don't just squash this shit and get it over with, it's not like this is making me have any less respect for Screw as a person. I just don't like his behavior. I can't co-sign that. Let me know if that link works, you guys. Or Miss Hummus, I don't know, because will it let you connect through the internet? Because I use Streamlabs to stream. And apparently it says I can have up to 11 guests. I didn't know that. That's cool. Your video source? No. Oh. I could have Discorded it to you. Oh, you're on your laptop. Okay. I don't think you have to have a webcam. Because, I think as long as you have a stable connection. Typically, it'll give you an option of whether or not you want to use your camera. Whoops. But, while I'm waiting on that, because I gotta... Okay, I see the bars. So, okay. Let me see. Show on the stream. Did it work? Oh, let me make sure it's not muted. There we go. I unmuted it. Oh, hold on. I gotta... Make sure that the volume's on. I don't know why the volume's not working. It should. There's gain, add, turn that up. Might have to. I don't know why it's not picking up the audio source. What the fuck? Alright. Let me see. Add a new source. Add. No, that's not working. Yep. I don't know why it's not working for me. Everything is microphone. Maybe it's something with the audio? Here, let me see if I could delete this and re-add it and see if that'll work. Let's hold on, it's not even. Let me delete. Yep, and then I'll re-add it. Where's it at? String with guess, add source, add a new source. Webcam 1, add source. Audio input capture. Mic, webcam. Oh, well. Okay. Generate a new link. Bam. Alright, that's the new link. Sorry, I'm doing computer shit in real time. This is annoying me. Properties. Output. Oh, is that why? Because it muted the. I'm so annoyed. It muted the output. Jesus Christ. Alright, so it's on track 2. Hey, I invite the discussion though, because genuinely it's healthy for people to debate on stuff like this. Debating has been a core part of Black history and HBCU history. Y'all, if any of you guys saw The Great Debaters with I believe Denzel Washington. Screw did prove him right with the messages, though. I will say that. Like, I'm not, I'm not saying that Screw is like a bad person. Shizzy's saying that 100%. But, like, I'm of the thought of where I need to see, I don't know him personally. So it's not my place to make that judgment. It's not my place to make that call. But from an optics point of view, as an outsider looking in, a neutral third party, having heard both sides of the story, I'm sorry, Screw still looks crazy. He still looks kind of crazy, dog. I'm not gonna tell. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. You were just watching that last night. Cause it's like, honestly, it's dumb. It's at the point where they need to just squash this. They need to really sit down, have a heart to heart, like Kendrick said, and just dead it. But while I'm waiting on Ms. Hummus, I'm gonna his priorities in friendship are different than Shizzy's priorities in a friendship. And a lot of other people who value friendship Clearly, he values something different. He values 100% unceasing, undying loyalty, regardless of the situation. Shizzy is looking at it from a nuanced perspective to where he's like, bro, I'm not gonna blindly follow you because I have a conscience. I'm not gonna dirty my hands as well just because I'm associated with you. If you do some stupid shit by yourself, it would be one thing if Shizzy was in the video with Scru reacting to the cipher and all of this happened, because then then Scru would be justified in this situation. They would both look crazy as hell, but Scru would be somewhat more justified. But it's the fact that he went and did it by himself without Shizzy knowing and didn't tell him until. Hold on, let me find the link and pin it. Oh, I gotta go in the other chat and do it because it's separated. Alright, where's the other link? Here we go. Replace pinned message. There it is. I think Shizzy's telling the truth, yo. I think he is too. Oh, okay. Hold on. There we go. I don't like when someone thinks I'm too slow to get what's happening. Screw talking to the. You have to add me to the. Oh. Well, shit. Duh. Cam 1. There it is. Okay.
I was in the
have
backstage.
sound. Holy shit.
Girl, I was talking to you the whole time, and then you were like,
I can't hear
let me
you.
know if you can hear me. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I just had to I had to delete it and re-add it. Sometimes with this software, some stuff glitches because the collab cam is still in beta testing. So I literally just had to delete it and re-add it.
There's such an echo, but it doesn't matter. I just wanted to say this.
Hold on, let me see. It's such an echo. Let me.
I think it's something on my part. I'm pretty sure it is. It's always on my part.
Okay, I'll just make sure that I've
I
got
was
you
telling
up.
you the other day, like my shirt.
Oh, that's cute.
No, I'm saying there's always wrinkles or the
Oh.
collar. The collar. I'm
Well,
always like
mine wrinkle
adjusting.
around like the arm and the titty section because, like I said, I got a lot of titty that I work with. But like, man, I'm not
I
saying
heard
that Screw's a
everything you
bad
said.
person. Don't mince words, because I'll still watch his reactions. You know, when Kendrick's album comes out or whatever, I'll still watch him in the reaction compilations.
Of
I'm not gonna
course.
skip over him. I'm just like, this is a situation where he's just gotta own up to what happened, and they gotta fight. They have to. It's mandatory now. But I know you said that you still rock with Screw, and so like I'm just curious to hear your perspective on all of this that's been going on.
I don't know. I'm gonna look at it from a different point of view, and if you're not an empath, it's probably gonna
No,
it
like
probably
I'm
not make
always the
sense to
person who
you.
likes to hear both sides because I am an empath. I would argue sometimes I'm a
Yeah,
little
because
too
remember,
much of
I
an
hit you
empath.
up last night,
Yeah, I remember
and I
that,
was
and
like,
that's why I
"Girlfriend,
responded
it
the way
is
that I
not."
did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it is not that serious to me.
yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, I feel like first of all, these niggas are these niggas, and I think it's sloppy. But I'm
Mhm.
gonna make a few point I wanna make sure that everybody that's listening to this understands that's my initial viewpoint. This is going to be a sub side conversation.
Right.
Okay, so growing up my whole life, and I'm just saying this is why I connect a little bit more with what screws. I don't know, oh boy, I don't know their situation. I'm just saying from my point of view.
Mhm.
growing up in my life, I always had people hating on me. I would pour myself out into friends. I would pour myself out to family members and to men.
Mhm.
And when you get when you're that vulnerable and that raw and you're that type of person and you've been hurt so many times, you do start recording stuff. You do start journaling. I started journaling. It's it helped.
I knew.
I
I'll see you
did
later,
I did
sis.
all of those things. So so it's like, I personally understand.
Mhm.
I know what it feels like to have hate when you're rising above poverty and you're doing things your friends couldn't do, and they're talking smack about you and making up things about you, and I had my own aunt do that. Like, I took care of her, I took her in, I took her kids in. By the way, they're all more grown than I am, right? I was
Right.
on a pole taking care of the 2 brothers I adopted, but I'm like, these are my people, these 'cause don't it's not about family, 'cause I can cut family off in a heartbeat. I'm what I'm trying to say is, like, it kinda sucks when you're actually doing something for somebody because you care about them and you rock with them, and then they do you wrong. Now, I don't know Screw's background, so I don't know if he's ever went through this. I'm trying to explain to you the lens,
Yeah, I
right?
see you're
The
coming
lens
at it
that
from
I'm
a
seeing
very
in.
empathetic direction. You're like you're seeing
Yeah,
him
so to me,
and
it's like, I'm going to
how he's
record
evolved
everything.
throughout
I'm
the
going to
years.
journal everything. I'm going to document everything
Yeah.
because I've been hurt so much, especially when you're a YouTuber. Right now, I can understand it more. And then it's like he's recording all this, and it's like it just seems like everybody's coming at him, and it's like, did y'all not watch his video? But I also think that a lot of people are detached. I'm not saying you, because you're still a logical human being.
Yeah.
You
I
can
don't
use
know.
logic and
Me
differentiate, but I'm just like,
personally,
those things do happen. Like,
yeah.
that is a thing,
Like I
you
know that
know?
it happens. It's just I don't agree with even if you're especially if you're friends with somebody like that, there should be a level of trust to where you don't have to record FaceTimes and you don't have to take screenshots of FaceTimes. It just really shows that the trust between them was already deteriorating for some reason and or another, and there was no communication on either side about it, and so it's like emotions started clashing. And I'm sorry, just if somebody's recording FaceTimes for any reason, that's just immediately like why? It's like this suspicion because it's like what are you going to do with that recording? Why do you need it? That's the I'm approaching it from a very pragmatic,
Yeah.
logical, rational point of view. And I'm also taking evidence that I've collected over the course of 6 years, with because I experienced this with the Knox Hill and Screwface beef that happened wait
Yeah,
like
I
at the
heard you.
same time, like right
Yeah.
after the Kendrick and Drake beef. And so me looking at that with all of this data, I'm like, this ain't looking too good for Screw right now. I can't co-sign the behavior, and it's not even like the recording shit. It's just the mentality is the where you're like, oh, I did this, and this for you. The least you could have done was do this tweet for me, and I'm like, I don't. That type of verbiage and that type of it's manipulation, like
Oh, yeah.
textbook
Yeah.
manipulation.
I
I just
agree.
don't agree with that mentality, especially when you're talking about somebody who's your friend, who you would even argue is your brother. Like it's
Yeah.
somebody who's held your child. I don't agree with that type of mentality. And that's
But you
me
also said that
also,
you come from
yeah, and I was
you
about to
had mental
say
health
it's
issues.
me also
And
approaching it from an empathetic standpoint too,
yeah,
because I've been the subject of that manipulation
okay, because
before.
that's where I'm approaching it from.
Yeah.
But I don't I don't think that I don't agree with the manipulation. I think that he's been through so much when it comes to internet and friends, and they've stabbed him in the back that he records like,